that physically hurt.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Is Ant-Man and the Wasp worse than Eternals?
If you say that, you're stupid.
Welcome back to Time Sweeps.
And we're back. So, we saw Ant-Man.
We saw MODOK's ass.
We did, and I thought that was the funniest part of the whole movie.
MODOK looked like a pop figure. Like a human pop figure.
His eyes were so unsettling to me.
Would you
They
prefer
were
if
just
they were
so sad.
Would you prefer if they were just white?
No.
Because that's what like a lot of people are saying. It's like he's not ugly enough. He's ugly in the wrong way.
Yeah, but MODOK he has eyes.
They don't have pupils sometimes.
They're not white eyes.
Okay.
Though.
Oh no,
So
they're like
are we going
they're
spoiler
like
talk,
white
or are we
like
going
yellowy.
just? We're going spoiler talk initially, or are we gonna go through it like we normally do?
I don't know anymore.
I mean,
Well, we didn't say who MODOK was, and he was known that way.
Well, we see him in the trailer.
Connor didn't know who it was until he was like, "I wonder who MODOK's gonna be," and I was like, "It's this," and he was like, "What?" So yeah,
I didn't watch a lot of the trailers purposefully, so I could be surprised.
Anyway, so starting off the movie, it's Scott's like just kind of living.
Yeah, he's like having a normal
whole
life
family's
to a
kinda
certain
living.
degree.
Yeah, he's
living
and
the
Hope's
normal
kinda-
life.
I don't know how
She's gone up in the world.
I don't know
like,
how
since
they
the blip.
haven't gotten a Nobel Prize for Nobel Peace Prize. Him and Hope, as in
Hope
Hank
is like
and Hope.
solving problems.
Yeah,
She's solving world hunger with the Pym particle.
Louis is nowhere to be found.
I know.
Yeah, Louise
Everyone's kinda
is
sad.
not
Louise.
even in the movie.
I wanted him to do a recap of the 5 years without him.
I was kind of hoping that one of the post-credit scenes would be him, like talking about like the whole
second post-credit scene
adventure.
was stupid.
You're right. Like on one hand, I was like, "Oh, that's nice," and on the other hand, it's like, "Okay."
3 seconds of footage. So, what else? So they're kind of living their lives, and then what's her name? Cassie is in jail.
Yeah, Cassie gets arrested for shrinking a cop car.
During a protest.
Yeah, she's no. They were like moving homeless out of this park.
Right.
she
Yeah. At
kinda,
one
like,
point,
stepped
someone
in.
says protest, and then another point they like go in a completely different direction with
Yeah.
it. So it's like, was anybody actually protesting, or was she just like witnessing this and just going like, "Hey, that's wrong. I'm gonna shrink your car."
And Hank and Hope are kind of just feeding her all this technology behind Scott's back because he doesn't want her to get involved.
And Janet doesn't seem to know either.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. It's like, this is under your own house.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Janet's kind of a key part, as she would be in this movie, as she should be, I think, being the only one who's lived down there. And then we find out that Cassie and Hank have made this beacon thing, or this map, like
It's like a
sonar,
satellite system.
for
the
the quantum realm. And then Janet gets really mad and turns it off, makes her turn it off.
Well,
She figures out that it's like, oh, this isn't going to go well. Turn it off.
And she's still not telling us why it's bad.
Right, and
up to this
especially at
point.
that point, it's like, you think that like her panicking would be like, hey, let's not do this, and I'll tell you why. But no, she's like, I won't tell you.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not telling you anything.
It's bad.
Wow.
I'm a grown woman. It's like,
yeah.
I'm an adult with mature feelings.
I understand trauma's trauma, but dude, shut up and just. Like,
Right, they don't treat it as
pertinent.
trauma.
It's pertinent. It's something that needs to be said, because it's like, if it's really gonna put everyone else in danger, then like, shouldn't that fear overshadow the fear of what happened? Like, I don't know. It's just.
It seems like that she could have talked about it, opened up, and also gave like an according warning to be like, hey, there's a dude in there, and he will kill you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Instead, like that
This-
minimum would have probably been enough.
That's
but it was
one
just
thing
a
this
solid.
movie did a lot, was there's so much like Deus Ex Machina, and then like just unexplained things until it had to be explained, and it's just like, until like it had to be explained, or like the plot can go any further, and it's just like, you could have explained this to give. And I understand it's plot armor, but like,
I don't even think it's that, though. I feel like it's laziness to a certain degree. Like, if she described what the threat was earlier in the film, that would have helped set him up for the rest of the movie, instead of just, like, once we get to, like, this encampment of refugees in the quantum realm.
Part of the issue is that they said is that she previously had said that that there wasn't anything there.
Right. Which was an obvious lie.
Yeah.
But once the beacon thing starts to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they get sucked in to the quantum realm. But
Especially when she's sucked in with Hank and Hope, and they're all three together, and she still won't tell anybody anything.
They get Jumanji'd in, and she still won't open up.
Yeah, there's a literal ship scanning for them, and she's like, I don't know. I'll talk to you about it later.
It felt dumb for her to be doing that, and it's just like, no.
I'm like, no, you need to say something. This is Terminator.
This is go time now, dude.
This is. We just woke up. This is Matrix right now.
We get all of our explanation not from the character that's already been there before, but from the characters that we just meet as well.
Mm-hmm. And then the party is split, and it's Scott and Cassie and Hope, Hank and Janet and then Scott and Cassie kind of get like immediately picked up by the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, there's not a better name for them.
The rebels. And then they're there, like, so, and there's like my favorite character of the new people in the movie get introduced. It's that guy with the glass head.
Oh yeah, the cannon dude.
I've loved that design since the trailer came out. I don't know why, like just his
There's
glass
something about
head, and with the glowing thing in the middle of it. That glowing thing makes a giant laser, by the way, as well. That kind of just shreds everything. Which is, and this whole time it's like he's gonna be looking for you. He's coming. It's like, bro, what are you talking? Oh, and then they
treat it like it's he shall not be named, and it's just like saying his name's not gonna summon him.
Right.
He's just a dude. He's just a powerful dude. There's no magic. There's no nothing to this. It's just say Kang.
Yeah.
We already know it's Kang. Just say Kang.
And then Cassie and Scott are in this little village, and Scott's like getting held down, and Cassie just goes, Dad, drink the goo. And we're like, what?
Drink the ooze.
What? And then they bring this, it's like a giant ceremony to have Scott drink this stuff. And that just looks uncomfortable, whatever they poured on him. Like in an actor's point of view. Like,
it looked like thick fruit punch.
It did. You know, I was just like, oh.
And then it ended up being like,
it was part of that one guy.
Translation.
Do we remember his name?
It's like Feb or Neb or something. It's Das Malchin, I know that.
Yeah.
So he ended up being in the movie while the other people in like the gang weren't. So.
Well, he's a little tiny. The only way I could is
he's like,
if you haven't seen the movie and you're just
weird.
watching this, think of the little blue guy from Strange World or a Plasmoid from D&D.
He's kind of like a mutagen man, and like the way his eyes just float around inside of his body.
This movie did Strange World correctly. Like, I feel like Strange World was kind of weird.
Strange World just wasn't that.
I don't think it was written as well. It had good
Yeah, no.
It
actually,
had good
like,
stuff
the more
in
I look
it.
into it, it's like the story isn't the biggest problem. To me, it's the design of that movie. Yeah. It looks like it's a cheap movie from the early 2000s instead of like.
Well, I really
Disney.
like the idea of like, oh, we found this plant and it can power our stuff.
Right.
That's like really cool to me. I don't know why.
And then it turns out that it's like actually a virus.
Right.
And I found like the plot of this is interesting.
Yeah, the plot's interesting.
But it also just happens to look like it was designed in 2003 to be a ripoff of Disney.
Mm. And
it looks like
I was
this
really
movie
excited
called
because it had
Dougal.
Indiana Jones font for the title, and I was like, oh shit.
It had like an adventurer.
Clade.
That intro sequence was great.
Yeah.
And then there's the rest of the movie, and it's like, this is hard to look at.
Yeah.
The people are hard to look at.
Anyway.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
So, Ant-Man. Where were we?
They drink the ooze, and then the ooze makes them be able to speak hear their language. It's like, it's kind of like a Starfire, and just kiss me, and I could speak and understand your language. Yeah. Or I forget what her species is called. What's it?
Tamaranians.
They could all do that, but.
But yeah, it's funny because the little guy is like,
he's really obsessed with holes.
Yeah, he's really obsessed with holes.
So how many holes do you have?
But we have a reference to that like
holes.
Twice, and I've seen people like talking about it online. It's like he's obsessed with them, and it's like we meet him twice, we see him twice, and he talks about holes twice. I don't know if this is obsession, or if it's just the one joke they had for him.
I don't have any holes.
I don't have any holes. I'm
holes.
jealous. I want holes. Foreshadowing. He gets holes. And there's the
holes make him scary.
the holes make him terrifying.
The holes
and I kind of want to make that an ability for a plasmoid.
The holes turn him into Kirby.
Yes, literally. By all means, literally. So then they find out one of the funnier jokes in that part of the movie is when he was like, "Is that building alive? Yours are dead?" Like, there's these giant, like, arms that only move like this that are cannons, buildings in this.
Right, yeah,
camp.
they're cannons, they're jets, they're legs, they're whatever you need them to be.
Mm-hmm.
A pterodactyl had a brooch.
Which there's a funny moment where a building dies, and later in the movie, a building is holding
cradling it,
cradling the dead building, and I just get. Wyatt made me laugh because he starts to laugh at that moment, and then I was like,
"It's like, how could you not laugh at that? It's a building cradling a building."
And they're kind of like their battleships as well. They're kind of everything.
I have a really messed up joke about that, but I'm gonna refrain.
Oh, this was important. When they get sucked into the quantum realm, a bunch of ants.
Oh yeah, no, I've been thinking about it for 3 days.
And a bunch of ants get sucked into the quantum realm as well. We forgot to say that.
Oh yeah,
kind of
ants
important.
that were already hyper intelligent get
Yeah.
sucked into the quantum realm, and that's important later because
Yeah,
that
that's
one
really
is legitimately Deus Ex Machina.
Exactly.
Where are we at? So then they get kicked out of the rebel camp. They're gonna because they realize the rebels realize what's that lady's name that's really buff and just
Oh, like the leader lady?
yeah, the leader lady.
I have no idea.
She's
I
like
kind of know her.
she just
Xena warrior
dissolves people.
princess.
Buff lady.
She just dissolves people with her moon staff too.
Xena warrior princess.
Yeah. So she's like, "Hey, he's gonna be since you're from above, he's gonna be looking for you. Get out of my sight."
Yo.
And then they get attacked by.
See, we can slink. Goodbye.
Then we cut to Janet and the gang, and they're talking to the Bill Murray guy.
Oh yeah, this is something that I noticed throughout this movie. I don't know why. So much of it looks like drawings by Mobius. It looks like Mobius's artwork, and I don't know why. He never worked with Marvel on any Ant-Man stuff that I could find. It looked like his freelance stuff, like a lot of very lateral hats and goggles and like very smooth-edged buildings and funky creatures and stuff like that, and it's like, but why?
Maybe
I can't figure
Is
it
that
out.
An artist on the
Maybe
internet?
they
Yeah,
took
he was a
inspiration.
comic book artist.
Maybe they
He's
took
For
inspiration.
Marvel or for DC?
Yes, he's done
Oh.
art for both. He actually had like a
Well, then
few
maybe
Marvel
it was,
stories, I think.
but he's never done Ant-Man comics.
Right, yeah. It's very weird and uncredited because it's like it's very loose, but at the same time it's like that very clearly looks like something Mobius drew. Like at one point when they're on like the flying thing, it's Hope, Janet, and Hank.
Oh, like the manta ray thing?
Yeah, Hope is literally dressed as a Mobius character. Goggles, tall hat, draped over scarves and everything.
Maybe they just found his comics and really liked his art style. and
It seems
some-
very odd that it was very Mobius with no indication of what's going on. He did like a Silver Surfer story, I think,
Mm.
and it looked different, which is even weirder. Very
We
We
bizarre
also
to
get
me.
some backstory time in this time of the movie with Janet and Kang, right?
Yeah, the movie actually starts out with that sequence of her like
Yeah.
meeting Kang for the first time, and he's like a crash landed trying to be nice.
She is like the only person of our knowledge that was from the above area, from above the universe in the quantum realm, and then Kang comes crashing down, and she doesn't know who he is, obviously, and
He's just some dude with a funny
so
looking face.
I want to know,
He's got the scars still.
since he was obviously not in our Earth, so did why did they exile him to our quantum realm?
See,
Or
this
is there
the
only
part
one
where
quantum realm?
that's the part that the writers they themselves don't know.
Is the
They
quantum
said that-
realm just a unity?
It says that she says that it exists outside of time and space. Meanwhile, this is where the movie's derailed like in game ago.
Mm-hmm.
It all went awry when they were just trying to figure out it's like time travel is actually alternate dimensions vibrating at the same sequence or going at it at the same time as we are. We just need to borrow the stones from here. That's where it went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Time travel in Marvel has laid out rules, which Kang functions on. Kang is not a multiversal threat. He is a linear time travel threat. It makes him weird. It makes him kind of a B-lister. It's kind of crap.
In comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the movies are like, actually, time travel's a multiverse. Take it or leave it. So, in reality...
the quantum theory of time travel rather than like...
Yeah, they went with I believe it's a string theory idea that, like, you have these existing at the same time, but it's separate because our timeline's already happened, but this one's happening at this moment, so therefore it is happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Parallel timelines versus parallel universes.
Yeah.
Timelines, universes, realities, they keep interchanging these words, and they all have become distinct things in Marvel over the past 50 years. Kang is not a multiversal threat. That's a weekend for the Avengers.
Right.
And now here we are, and they're like, he's bigger than Thanos, and it's like, what?
I think he's only bigger than Thanos because this war that's going to happen.
Right, they've made him bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that the people that are writing this aren't nerds. They're just they have like a word box, and they just keep taking stuff from it.
It's a multiversal war.
Like Gargantos in Doctor Strange into the Multiverse, or whatever. That giant eyeball thing was supposed to be Shumagorath.
Mm.
Completely different, not just some monster, a literal god that fights Dormammu on a normal. That kind of thing.
Mm. Well, so I was talking to Connor during the movie, and I was like, what if the Council of Reeds exiled him instead of the other Kangs exiling him?
I think that would have made a huge amount of sense and would have been
way
amazing.
more sense, right? And then you would have been like, oh, shit! Like, literally, like, you would have been like, oh, my God! Council of Reeds, that exists! But, like, I don't feel like they could introduce that before we get the Fantastic Four movie.
I feel like they totally could, because that sets it up as like, what the hell is this?
That too, but then I feel like that if they did that combined with Multiverse of Madness, seeing him, I feel like it's just gonna be like, oh, so this is like a prequel movie, the Fantastic Four movie. Like, oh, so this is who this is, which I'd be like, I don't know. I feel like I could see people complaining about that. I mean, like, we already know who this character is. Why are we seeing an origin story for him? Right.
I think people, if they're complaining about that, it's like,
I mean,
it's Reed Richards, dude.
You've
like,
seen
what do you want?
You've seen what Marvel has. Marvel fans have complained about. I would not.
Oh, it's because so many of them are really stupid.
Yeah.
You have some of them that are like, I have actually read the comics. I know how this goes. And then there's some of them that are like, I've never read comics, but the comics suck. These movies are better. And it's like, both of you suck. Just get out.
But I was just like, what if the Council reads exiled him? Because that's like,
would have made more sense, would have been more interesting, would have made the Kang Dynasty a lot bigger.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that we need to be writers for Marvel, not them.
They need people that are actually nerds to be writing their
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I realized that when it came to WandaVision, and the writer was like, who is Mephisto? It's like, you're in charge of writing for Scarlet Witch?
You don't know who Mephisto
And
is?
you don't know who Mephisto is? Who's in charge of giving you your base information?
Who's in charge of your job?
That's
'Cause
like
they
if
need
I
to be
was like,
fired.
here, I need you to write a movie for Chewbacca,
Right.
and you don't look into anything about Chewbacca's backstory.
Well, that's like there's a
Things
scene
that
in
do exist.
Big Bang Theory, and Mark Hamill's officiating Sheldon and Amy's wedding. It's towards the end, and they're asking him about Chewbacca's wife, and he's like, Chewbacca had a wife? And
Right.
he's like, yeah, in the 19 or something Christmas special, you get to meet Chewbacca's wife, and he's like, there's a Christmas special, like just shit like that. Like that's the Marvel writers is like,
Yeah. That kind of joking is, it's like, Kevin Feige seems to know these characters,
right.
and he's the only one that does. I have no evidence to say that any of these people do.
There's a Fantastic Four.
That's why it's like,
One of them's
I
made of
have
rocks.
Right. I have, like, I'm going to continue to enjoy these movies for what they
for
are.
sure,
Like,
absolutely.
MODOK is nothing like MODOK.
But he's hilarious.
But he's a big giant head, and he's
Don't
funny.
be a dick.
But look,
How?
I don't know how
well,
to,
Look at me.
I'm a huge dick.
I'm such a dick. That was like the peak of the movie. I think.
Right. Yeah, he made the movie comedically.
Yeah.
At least. For every bit of seriousness that Kang was,
MODOK.
you
was-
have all this other crap going
Yeah.
on. It's like, that building's cradling a building. MODOK's butt cheeks.
MODOK's butt cheek. Something I've never thought we would ever see.
Okay. I guess so. MODOK is Darren Cross.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't recognize that name, he's Yellow Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
From the
also a
first
joke in the
Ant-Man
movie that no one remembered the name Yellow Jacket.
There's a
He
bee
calls
that-
himself that.
You're right. Just like he calls himself MODOK.
So like
He has identity issues.
What's the acronym stand for?
Mechanized
Guys?
organism only designing
Designed
for killing.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically.
There's also
Is
a
that
joke
what it
about
stands
that
for in
in
the
the-
comics?
Whenever
As soon as I heard that, I was
whenever Darren goes into the quantum realm, his body like gets disfigured.
What we could see that in like the room, like
Yeah.
he's just getting squished and murdered and murked.
So like, whenever he's in the quantum realm, his head's just really fucking big.
His head is full size. His arms and legs are not.
His head becomes torso.
His
And his
neck
hand, you
becomes
see his
torso.
hands later in the movie, like touch Ant-Man's face. They're normal-sized human hands. It's his head. His head became torso. His neck is now ass.
He's like an egg shape, and his butt's just.
Oh my
there.
God, it's Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, it's the upside-down egg.
Yeah. And it was so funny seeing him get pulled out of the water or the goop that he had laying in, just his butt just staring
Placenta.
at us. Placenta.
He was born again.
He's now a head baby.
Yeah, we have no aim, and I mean that like the agency.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. None of the weird whatever gas that made him into a whatever.
Yeah.
He's just shrank.
This is like the second time MODOK's been in like something big, which the first one being like the Avengers game.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot
Yeah,
that he was in
like
that.
the main villain in the Avengers game. The game that everyone was hyped about, but then
Kind of.
gave up on because it was trash.
And it's like it still had potential. It's just that the people that made it didn't make an actual campaign.
No.
They give you like a few story missions, and they're like,
Well,
play our game, please. You'll get more characters. Just
There
play.
is- there is no game.
What's funny is that they learned with the Guardians of the Galaxy game. That one's great.
Right.
Still
Yeah.
haven't
That
played
one's
Huge
great.
improvement.
Like it's
It even has a
great.
better soundtrack.
Oh my God.
I feel like it's like a staple now, though, for Guardians. Anything Guardians related has
Yeah.
to have a good soundtrack.
That's what happens when you make a hit movie that changes everything.
Right. Literally changed the comics, too. Like the designs of all the characters and shit. Like,
Star-Lord's helmet now looks like the movies. His guns even look similar. He wore red. He no longer was just some dude.
which I honestly like the OG design helmet, or it's kind of like the
Kind of like a rebel soldier
Yeah.
helmet from like
Mhm.
episode 4.
in the classic design. I think that is clean, but
A lot of these characters didn't interact with each other very much outside of the Guardians of the Galaxy shortly before that movie came out, which is
Mhm.
kind of funny. Yondu's 100% polar opposite,
yeah.
and also doesn't wear a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way it changes.
He always had the big fin too. He didn't. That it wasn't.
Yeah, he always had the arrow thing, but he used to have a bow that did it.
Mhm.
It was a whole lot of changes that ended up improving it. And then like the Guardians of the Galaxy game like takes that a step further to a certain degree.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it's coming up here soon as well.
I'm not ready for that movie.
You're not ready for Warlock. You're not ready for.
It's no, like screw out of Morlock.
You're
Like,
not ready
Not
for
ready for Rocket to die.
Rocket. I
Yeah.
don't think Rocket's gonna die.
It's either gonna be Rocket or Drax or
Or
somehow
Peter.
Peter Quill. And it's like if you kill Peter, screw you. If you kill Rocket, that's even worse. Drax, Dave Bautista said
I
it's
mean,
his last
Groot's
movie.
already died, so like if Groot dies
Right,
again,
Groot can come back unless
Groot
he's like straight up incinerated
I
entirely.
hope that he dies so we can get a normal Groot face back.
I think it's coming.
instead of baby Groot face.
It's he just needs a different head.
I loved the design of Groot in Guardians 1. It was awesome. And then
Right.
and then baby Groot was good, and they were like, what if we keep that head? And
Like
it's
teenage Groot was
because
kind
even
of
teenage
okay.
Groot was like, you could see that it was like kind of going back to the OG.
Right, yeah,
the
at
head.
first, and then we get to like Thor: Love and Thunder, and it's changed again, and it's more like baby Groot,
I'm like, this is disgusting.
and now he's like buff baby.
He's buff baby Groot.
It doesn't make
Big.
sense. I don't remember.
And he has tentacle arms
It's
now.
yeah,
In the
which he's always
trailers.
kind of had that though. It's
Right,
just now he's
but
using them for guns.
Yeah, instead of punchy. But I guess this is his. I wonder if they're just trying to be like, this is a different Groot. This is his son.
That's kind of what they were trying to represent in this,
Right.
I think. This is a Groot raised by Rocket.
Right. So he's gonna be more guns instead of fighting punchiness.
Less stabby.
Less. Maybe I feel stabby. I wonder if he's gonna be more intelligent too than the old Groot.
Maybe.
Since
It's hard to judge
Rocket's
when
kinda like-
he's very.
I just mean more intelligent than
I
be like, I have a
Groot.
plan. So first we need to do this, and then he just goes up and grabs the battery. Or instead of
Groot,
like
I am
drinking
Groot.
the fountain water at the,
The plan worked.
it did. But
Fountain
anyway,
water though, yeah, that's on a different level.
where are we at in the movie of Ant-Man? At this point?
Bill Murray.
So Bill Murray is like,
That's
nah,
true. Yeah.
baby.
These
I
like
love
keep
you.
happening at like congruent moments is the thing
Yeah,
with this movie.
so
And
we
that's
get-
the
there's
other
a lot
reason
of
it takes
cuts.
so long.
Mm-hmm. And so Bill Murray and Janet kind of like diddle each other when she was down here. She said she had needs.
And then Hank also had a conversation with her about that, and Hope's just like in the middle, like, please stop.
She's like, Allah, which any kid would be about their parents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's the ship that Hank is.
Oh, the fucking
doesn't know how to fly.
The ship. That's the only way I know how to.
It was the same joke as Thor Ragnarok with Mark Ruffalo not knowing how to fly the ship, but instead they added
worms.
I almost phrased that entirely
like
different.
Clear worms from Dune.
Yeah, they looked like.
I was thinking like bloodworms.
They had like the 3 bloodworms.
Yeah, you don't know what bloodworms are?
Are you talking about leeches?
No, they have like. You don't know what bloodworms are?
No, this sounds made up.
They're real.
Bloodworm sounds like something that some dude that worked on like.
I'm gonna show you the picture and you'll be like, oh, those things.
That's what it's probably gonna happen.
Are they? I thought they were called bloodworms. Yeah, these things. They have the teeth on them.
That picture. Okay.
Yeah, you know, and they're really long too. But they were clear, and he shoved his hands in them.
Gummy worms, butthole things.
Exactly, and then they fly away. Hank just magically knows how to fly this thing.
I mean, she kind of tells him, it's like, you just gotta do that with your arms a whole lot.
And then we are back to
Ant-Man getting diddled by MODOK, essentially.
Yeah, he gets
There's
captured.
Big battle.
There's a big battle with MODOK, and then he's like, hey, Scott, it's been a while. And he's like, Darren? He's like, no, I'm the Mandarin. Oh, wait, no, that's a different movie.
No, I'm
Same
MODOK.
reveal.
No, this is Patrick.
Right.
I'm the Mandarin.
So then Kang is kind of comes out from the darkness in the cells, and he's like, hey, yo, you got to do this for me. I heard you like stealing things.
And Cassie has a suit.
Cassie
Oh,
has a
yeah.
suit.
Cassie has a suit without boots. She
purple
just wears
suit.
Converse.
Yeah, which is
It's kind of weird.
Well,
I don't think the suits only needed to like shrink you. The helmet's not needed.
So why
unless
does everyone
to
else
block
have boots that are connected to it, though?
Because it looks nice. But like the helmet's only there so you don't get messed up like Darren did.
Pretty
in the
much.
head. Cause
even
that's
his
why
suit
got
had a
messed
helmet.
up.
He just
he said that
he was already unhinged. He also got like how do you say, bug zappered, and it made it worse.
I think it was the particles messing with his brain, because that's the whole reason that the helmet's there, is to block the particles from messing with your brain. That's what the first movie said.
I remember him saying it's because oxygen becomes a lot harder to breathe when you become that small.
Maybe that.
Because it has to siphon it through a specific way.
Anyway, it's just an Ant-Man suit, but purple.
Yeah, literally the same, but
Yeah.
purple, and with Converse.
And so they get captured, and Kang's like, "You're gonna steal this thing for me, or you're not gonna steal it, but you're gonna fix this for me, or I'm gonna kill your daughter." Period. End of sentence. And he's like, "No, you won't." And then he's like,
he magic force powers uses them.
Yeah, and he's like, "All right, I'll do it. And then, so we see Janet blows up his ship's core, which is how he's gonna get out of there.
Back to the flashback scene.
Yeah.
She finds out who he really is, and she's like, "No, I'm not helping you."
Mm-hmm.
After she already helped him.
And there was a ball, and she
Multiversal
grew the
engine.
ball. Multiversal engine, and she grew it, and it was broken.
It's another orb to ponder.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another ponderous orb. It always comes back to orbs.
Boss.
Orbs are spheres are scary.
Boss.
That's all I've learned through movies. Is as long as you have
Balls.
an orb, people are
A
like,
glowing orb.
it's slightly terrifying.
As long as you have balls.
As long as you have balls to fondle.
And then we get the scene that we saw where there was a bunch of Ant-Mans in the trailers. So there's a million
Possibility
storm. That's the word I was looking for. And he just starts multiplying because it's every decision that you can make existing all at once.
Including him.
There was a Baskin Robbins one.
Yeah, including him saying a Baskin.
Why am I here? That was so funny to me. When they're all running and the Baskin Robbins. Why am I here? It was so good. A couple of them died. They grew and got shredded.
Themselves.
And then
literally spaghetti.
And then Hank and them roll up, and Hope dives down in there, and she starts to multiply
base jumps, yeah.
For some reason, the storm, they allow them to become. They go away.
Yeah, I think
Like
the
all
story
the
just
Ant-Man's.
ends.
But is that it?
Maybe.
I think. I thought. I don't know. It
Because
didn't
they,
make sense to me.
so then they shrink the ball back down. And then he's like, they're like, we can't give him this. And he's like, but I have to. He has Cassie. And they're like, we'll save her, I promise. Meanwhile, she's out of the prison. She's out of the jail cell. She got out.
Yep.
I got out. And then, but there's this fight over this ball between them and Kang, and they get their shit rocked.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple.
They get their
Everything. Yeah. It
And
just
then
goes
Mo-
back.
Oh,
for him.
he shoot. Yeah, MODOK shoots.
MODOK pulls up on Hank, and he's like,
Oh yeah, Hank was in the ship.
Mm-hmm.
he's
Hank's
like,
in the
what
ship.
the hell?
It's like Darren.
And then they fight.
It's MODOK.
That scene. I'm the ultimate weapon. It's just on par with Spider-Man 3. What does it mean to you anyway? Everything. Like that just made because that scene in Spider-Man 3 makes me laugh every time. So that just
It's the same level.
it just
Same energy.
everything. The amount of times I do that during a day is like kind of
Dude, but fucking MODOK, he's like the only real like zany part of the damn movie.
Yeah, other than like a few like here and there jokes just because
Yeah.
this world's different.
funny.
MODOK is the one that's consistently like staring at you.
Yeah. And his face is so weird, dude.
What's funny is that like Cassie's like initially afraid of him because childhood trauma, but like
It's also a giant floating head baby.
and then
Giant floating head baby.
let me finish my thought. But then she gets over it because he's comically fucking huge.
His mouth is as big as her torso.
Yeah.
Like to
Can
put
MODOK
this in
just
a
eat
reference,
people?
technically
Or hold him in the mouth like Kirby.
nothing's stopping him. He just doesn't.
I just want a scene where he just went, oh.
What would your mother say if she like? What's the meme when the dude's just like, oh,
Wait,
Well, what's
Oh,
something
God,
you've
it's
never
a
told your
bad
mom?
thought.
that's what it is.
It's not a bad thought.
Oh,
What?
is it four, Connor?
Giant Ant-Man and MODOK.
Stop talking.
I know.
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 4.
Oh,
Like right off the bat.
What's a vor?
we're not gonna go into that.
What is that?
No.
I'll tell you later.
What is that?
I'm using Sonic as an example later. Let's just say that.
Am I child for not knowing, or am I just innocent for not knowing?
I don't know because of all the things you do know. I know you're not innocent. It's just surprising.
Maybe I do know what it is. I just don't know it's what it's called.
That's probably what it is.
Okay.
Sonic is the best example.
Okay. So you remember that remember Men in Black 2?
Yeah.
The first scene where the woman kind of eats the dude?
Yeah.
People get off on that.
Basically that.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
They want to be eaten or they want to eat people.
Uh-huh.
So they're Dahmer.
Kinda, yeah, but
But,
not
like-
quite as cut up as much as get in my belly.
Oh, I saw a weird animation about
It's-
that.
Yes, there
Yeah.
you go. Was it
Okay.
Sonic related? Because
No,
there's
it
a
was
weird.
not. It was furry related, and I just kept on scrolling past Twitter.
Yep, that's it.
I watched it for like a good minute. I was like, yeah.
For some reason, it usually involves furries. I don't know. I
Furries
don't
are
know the
weird, and
psychology
I'm not
of it.
afraid because you can't cancel us over saying furries are weird because furries are weird.
All I found out is that there's worse things, and that's what I'm scared of now.
Oh gosh. Anyway, moving on. So, where are we at? MODOK fights, knocks.
I'm sorry, I'm
his
stuck
pen
a
out
few.
of his eye.
I'm stuck in like a Vietnam
MODOK
1,000-yard
234.
stare of the internet type thing. Look that up. It has to exist.
Okay, I'll look it up.
What?
You guys keep talking about the movie.
So we get to the point in the movie that
Did I inspire you? Wyatt?
Cassie, maybe because it's really funny. Cassie has. Cassie is breaking out of prison. She saves the rebel lady that I thought she died for some reason, so I was kind of surprised to see her in prison. But that happens. They send out a transmission that, like the main group says that, oh my God, it exists.
This is weird. That's.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh.
It gets
my
really.
God.
It gets worse.
This is why God has abandoned us.
It gets worse.
Oh God.
Does it, though?
That's.
It's getting some. That's not better.
Bruh.
That's Superhero Squad show, man. That's even worse. Wait.
What?
Whoa.
It's not as good as I thought. Let me get
Yeah,
off
this isn't
website.
as funny as I thought it would be.
Oh, man.
Let me get off the website.
Okay.
Continue talking.
So Cassie breaks out of prison. They send out a transmission. Hank, Scott, and Hope and Janet think that she's dead, essentially.
Yeah.
Because, Kang is Kang. But while they were fighting, Cassie was breaking out. Shortly after, they make it to Kang compound to try and break in and break up the place because he's about to break out of the quantum realm with the multiversal engine. You then have Cassie, who sends out a transmission, who's just like, if you're sick of this crap, let's do this. Let's fight. Let's fix this.
Yeah.
That's where it goes from there. There's a dude that looks like broccoli. That's a reoccurring joke. I'm very serious. The dude looks like broccoli. He just starts fighting Kang's guards. Other people start fighting Kang's guards. And then all the rebels show up with the buildings and stuff, and then Ant-Man gets really big.
Really big.
Like, bigger than he's ever been before.
And he says, Kang, we had a deal. And
It's
then,
kind of terrifying.
yeah.
It's like
and
that
because he
one-
comes through the clouds like a shark in the ocean.
It reminded me of in the 90s Spider-Man show. Shocker!
Shocker!
Well, so planes do that to me at the airport.
Come out of the fog.
Come out of the fog. Just like that, too. And I'll just be like, oh.
They
Because
shout,
it'll be super foggy one morning.
they shout at you, Kang!
No, just like they'll just come out of the fog, just like they're.
They all sound like Paul Rudd. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, I've had that moment in real life, just
we're
with a
in
giant
Kansas
plane.
Natural habitat.
Paul Rudd. I don't know. I saw a TikTok of Paul Rudd and his son at the Super Bowl, and I really want to meet his son now and be his friend because he's probably our age, and he's just like Paul Rudd.
That's messed
And
up.
I'm sure he's really cool. Like they even like have the same they talk the same, like their voices are different, but like the mannerisms and like
the
jokes, like they're the same. Like I'm like I want that person to be my friend.
See, that would have been funny if they used that to their advantage in like Endgame with the time travel sequence.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure it out. But hey, who am I?
I don't know. I don't think he wants to be an actor.
Probably. That's fair.
Anyway,
I mean, apparently when he was little, he thought his dad worked at a movie theater. Because he saw him on a poster. He was like, "Do you?" And he and his friends were like, "You work here?" And he's like, "Yeah."
That's fair. That's valid.
He was like,
you work here,
four.
Dad? Yeah, I
Yep.
work here.
He was like, he was like 4.
Dad, you make good money at the movie theater. I think I want to work at the movie theater when I grow up.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, because I guess all of the movies that he was in back in the day, when I guess he would have been a kid, were like probably rated R movies or worse.
Yeah, all I could think of
I
was
mean,
like
or
role models and
PG-13.
stuff like that movie.
And like Friends.
Thinking like 40-Year-Old Virgin,
yeah, that's all I could think of for that
Anchorman.
era.
Anchorman.
Anchorman's probably like the least annoying of that grouping. You know what I mean? Like, not annoying.
What's another?
The
Paul
most
movie?
suitable? And he plays the one character that's like, I'm a Sex Panther.
There was a
Some
TikTok the other
crazy
day, and
out
it
of
was
pocket.
Seth Rogen on Jimmy Kimmel, and he was like, when I first started working with Paul, he was older than me, and for somewhere along the way, I passed him. I just imagine Seth Rogen voice and laugh and enthralled in that statement.
He's like, somehow I got older.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, Paul Rudd is aged like fine wine. You can kind of see his age now.
There was a scene in Ant-Man, and it was like, Jesus.
He's older.
That didn't look like him.
Oh, just
And then
'cause
it
of how
goes
old
to
he
the end of
was?
the movie, and it like looks like normal Paul Rudd. So it was kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but all right. It was like mid-battle sequence, and he looked old. But
He
then
is
the,
old.
But
He's
I
like
know,
55 or
I know
4.
that. But I mean, he looked old. That's weird for Paul Rudd.
I mean, Keanu Reeves is also starting to look a little older.
He looks old if you shave his beard.
Yeah.
He's looked old if you shave his beard for the past 10 years.
Which is hilarious because usually, well, I guess there comes a point where like, you'll look.
I think it's just because his hair is still pitch black.
That's pretty much it.
And
I'm serious though. If you shave his facial hair, he looks weird. He doesn't look normal. Like, I'm so used to him being like, oh, that's Keanu Reeves. He's got facial hair.
oh,
And then you shave like Bill and Ted, like the newest one. I was like, what the hell is that?
get that away from me.
That is not Keanu. Keep it away.
And there's the big fight scene.
Oh yeah, big fight.
Cassie gets big too.
Big hug.
Big hug.
Literally.
And Connor's like, that should have made a shockwave. That should have killed everyone.
Yeah, no, that should have. It should have. That would have been like a lot. It would have done a lot of
the
damage.
forces of two freaking giants. You heard the sound. It should have made something.
Because like their back pat sounded almost normal, but their footsteps are like
Boom.
Godzilla.
Like you see, how much air are their hands and their bodies moving whenever they walk?
It's displacing hurricane force winds. It has to be.
Exactly.
So, and for some reason, when you grow, your food in your stomach doesn't grow with you.
I could see it making sense that it takes a lot out of you. So
But
you
also,
you need
what
energy.
if it shrinking? If the food doesn't change, then
If
Well,
the
that's what I'm
food doesn't
saying.
change, then the blood doesn't change. So
But like, why do they get hungry? Do they just their metabolism grows with them? I guess.
that's I think what they're trying to say, because they
so
start
if
to
you
crave
stayed
oranges.
small, you could eat like tiny bits of food and live for it. Like
pretty much
never get hungry.
at least
but you'd also go
metabolism-wise.
crazy.
What?
Wouldn't you go crazy?
Not if you had.
Why?
Not if you had the helmets
Because-
on.
Oh, that's true. But how would you eat?
You could take it off for a brief
straw,
amount
I don't
of
know.
time.
Fair.
They shrink without the helmets multiple times.
That's
though.
true.
That's how they got to the quantum realm. Was
Right.
they shrunk without?
And in the
Except
last
for
movie,
Hope.
they sit in a car without their helmets on.
Well, he's not super small then.
They're in a Hot
He's just
Wheels
like-
car. It's basic. They keep the cars Hot Wheels size.
Well, I wonder if they just have oxygen things in the cars.
There's no rules on it, because when you put rules on it, it becomes weird and stupid.
Have oxygen in a car?
No. Okay, so one, you have to hook up the car to have the oxygen in it. So yes. Two, in the comics, you could just shrink. It's just screw it. You're shrunk.
Honey,
This is the problem of like when you have the directors and they're just like, oh, why does he have to have a helmet? Because the old helmet looks dumb. Why do we have this helmet? I know why. So he can breathe. Like it's a scuba gear. It's like, okay, interesting take. And then you have the next movie and they're just like, tiny car. Phone become drive-in.
Jump click.
Cassie keeps taking her helmet off every 5 seconds too. So it's like
Yeah.
the helmet's useless. The helmet's there for aesthetics.
Yeah. Well, and I could be Patty. Oh, and then Paul Rudd gets what's his name? Fucking Spider-Man in the last fight. Tobey Maguire. His mask comes off.
Mask gets whoop-a-ba.
That classic third movie fight in every superhero movie from like the 2000s, and they get their absolute everything rocked.
Yeah.
So something has to break inevitably, and
Dude,
be
and
like,
King is, and I think he's only this ripped because
the Dark
he's
Knight Rises.
shooting Creed in the same year. But the King is
He's
yoked. He is
Yeah.
yoked out of his mind.
his shirt gets ripped up. Oh, we forgot about the ants.
Oh, the ants are a big thing.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, the ants get really smart because technology, and that's how they find Hank.
Right, they were already smart.
They were
Then they
Then
get
they-
smarter.
they were looking for Hank.
They basically advance 1,000 years in a day.
They said they lived
Somehow.
1,000 lifetimes
Lifetimes.
in one day,
Yeah.
essentially, and they became like infinitely smart god ants that built ant tanks.
And
And they
humongous.
and they overthrow.
Because
the
ants
government.
never give up. It's literally a line said in the movie.
It's fair.
I mean, they technically don't.
I like ants.
That was my favorite line in the movie.
I mean,
I like ants.
I like ants.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
if a lot of them are going in a circle, they'll go in a circle until they die.
Right.
Yeah.
Ants don't give up.
Ants don't give
They
up.
will die.
Yeah, they will die.
And they won't know better.
Exactly.
I just want to know, is Hank the queen?
Yes.
Does he just poop out ants out of his finger?
Yes.
That'd be awesome, but
He-
also terrifying.
He is an ant shitting machine.
He goes, "Oh,
My-
my friend.
My body is a machine that eats food and shits ants.
I am the machine."
That's kind of terrifying.
Oh, yeah, no, imagine someone that makes ants out of their body.
Spiders, man, but ants.
Because then
Terrifying.
Then they fight King in the tower, and so they all are going through this portal home,
Yeah, big portal scene.
and King, and this is after the ants like kind of take out King. And
Yeah, we see him carried off by ants.
Yeah, and we assume he gets ripped to shreds. I don't believe this guy is dead. I still don't. And then they make their portal home, and everyone gets through it. And then Cassie's about to walk through, and Scott pushes her in and then gets shot by a phaser thing. And then they fight, and this is where Ant-Man gets his shit rocked by buff, yoked out Kang. And then Hope comes back to help fight. And then they...
Yeah, after 5 minutes of getting everything destroyed...
Yeah.
She comes and helps him and shoots Kang a few times.
Yeah. And then they push him into his power source.
Yeah, the multiversal engine. They shove him into it.
Which
as
I'm
it's,
like, they're
cracked.
and then he kind of looks like he gets pulled in and destroyed. But I still think that he
literally
just gets
what
pooped
happened
out.
to Yellow Jacket.
Right.
Literally the same kind of. Oh no, I'm getting sucked into a hole. Essentially,
Right.
It's like,
and I think he just got pooped out onto a different timeline somewhere.
Or he's stuck in a
post-credit scene-
possibility storm or something.
The post-credit scene just kind of tries to say otherwise.
It's like comic books. Never say dead until there's a body.
Even if there's a body. I feel like what they're doing right now is just so lazy. Oh, this person dies? Oh, we got another one from this other universe where everyone else is dead except for this person.
Yep.
Vis-a-vis Black Widow from the What If series.
Yep. Because I also didn't like that they were like, this is what happens when a world doesn't have a Black Widow. And it's like, oh, you mean the most useless Avenger? Hawkeye does more. He does the same thing. He just doesn't have boobs. Excuse me. He doesn't have mammaries. The man does have pecs.
Memories.
Also, Jeremy Renner, is he good?
They said,
emotionally or physically?
Physically and emotionally.
Emotionally, probably not. He's kind of crazy. And physically, I don't know.
I mean,
he's the kind of person that's threatened to kill himself after his wife tried leaving him one time. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, but he said that he said that they say he's gonna have to go through years of physical therapy to be normal again after getting run over by the snowplow.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a miracle he's got to keep his legs.
So he's not playing Hawkeye for a fat minute.
I doubt it.
Unless it's standing there.
Yeah.
And even then, that might have to be done through certain means of.
I mean, look, Val Kilmer was in Top Gun. And he can't even talk.
He didn't talk in the movie, I don't think, did he?
He did, but it was digitally added, and they were typing on the computer. He was typing on the computer for a minute, but then he stood up and talked, but it was digitally added.
Huh. Why can't he talk? I don't remember what
Throat
he
cancer.
has. Throat cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Straight up, just.
Huh.
His larynx are just gone.
But then they get back, and
Paul has an existential crisis.
He
has a moment where he's like, "Is he dead?
Is he dead? Is he alive? Wait? He said if he didn't make it out, everyone would die. Did I just kill everyone?
Did I make it worse?
No, it's probably fine." The music continues,
and then he goes to Cassie's birthday party, which is not really a birthday party.
Dad,
but
it's not. It's not my birthday.
He's like, "Yeah, I know.
Missed a few.
I just missed a few.
At least 5.
Sweet
and
guy.
I was like, aw. And we also saw this movie in MX4D.
Oh, I never again. By the way.
Yeah, no, that was a complete accident.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was kind of fun.
No, it was annoying. I just kept getting my butt cheeks punched by hydraulics, and then kept getting blown on, and it was annoying.
At random
loud.
moments, it didn't make sense either. Like the first one, there was to prove that the little air spray thing works. It was like when a dog barks, and I'm eating popcorn, and it shoots the popcorn out of my hand. I was like, "You bastard!"
No, it would happen in the dumbest moment. I'm like, bro, okay, never again. And
yeah, no, unless we're looking for that specifically, we got to make sure we're reading.
Unless there's a movie that's specifically designed for that, never again. There was a Lego movie designed for that.
Yeah, shown in a specific Lego theater.
Yeah, I forget. What
there was also
like
a
an
Shrek
Ninjago movie, probably.
No, it was a sequel to Clutch Powers.
Because I remember it was like an adventure club or maybe a school field trip. I went on to go see that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I remember seeing that.
But then then there's the post-credit scenes, or the Council of Kangs is what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call it.
And they're using the same technology as Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. So I forgot to say that. It's the same technology.
It's based off of Dr. Doom's time door.
Yeah. I'm just like, that is the same technology, and if you say it's not, screw you, because it is.
What's funny is Reed gets it from Doom.
Right.
So it once again begs the question, it's like, who's really
Where's
the smartest man
Doom?
alive?
They say Reed.
It sounds to me like it's the person that outsmarts Reed Richards every 5 seconds. It's like, I'm no expert here, but it's like, if he...
Yeah, but he's bad. He's
Is
a
that
bad
what it is?
guy. He doesn't help the world.
So he can't be smart.
Yeah. He's a bad guy.
Dr.
He's
Doom is
stupid.
Batman if he was evil. What the?
He's got a...
Kang is my reasoning for thinking they're going to do Dr. Doom dirty.
Really?
They're going to do horrible. Like, Dr. Doom is the Marvel villain. Like, Thanos is a throwaway. He's a joke. That's why they were like, hey, let's do something like this to make him actually scary. That's the only reason he became relevant. Was the Infinity Gauntlet. That's the only thing it made Thanos relevant again.
Yeah.
Kang has always been there, and he's always been a D-lister. Dr. Doom has always been the A-list villain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they didn't do especially after they got Fox back. I'm surprised they didn't choose Dr. Doom to do this with.
I think that decision was made before they got Fox back.
Really?
Was to do
It had
Kang.
to have been.
I think that because that was recent, the Fox thing.
Right.
That was like within the last couple of years.
And Feige says that he plans these movies out so long beforehand.
Yeah, I feel like this decision was made and they were already in production before
True.
they got Dr. Doom back, because I feel like that's what they're kind of doing. Is they're trying to make him more like Dr. Doom.
Yeah, because Dr. Doom is the thing that's like, he has actually caused multiverses to crash. He has gone to literal hell to say hi to his mom. And then she hated him because he's a monster, but different point. Kang isn't this good of a villain.
Mm-mm.
The bubble's going to pop.
The only proof is that he was the villain in the second Lego Marvel Superheroes game, and that game was trash. His giant sword ship in the sky made out of Legos.
That's what he does. He shows up and the Avengers are like, we got to go fight him. They give a problem and the Hulk's just like, watch this.
God, fight back! Fight back!
There was an Avengers cartoon from a few years ago. I think it's called Avengers the Animated Series or something like that.
Avengers Assemble?
No, before that.
Okay.
It had a very much more stylized thing. It was before 2012, I think.
I don't know.
And Dr. Doom appears like twice in the entire show. And one of the times he's like, you can leave now. After they invaded his home, he got all the information he needed, and he's the one that finds out that the Skrulls are invading, and he doesn't tell anybody. He's like, oh, there's aliens. Well, Latveria's safe. But then Kang appears in like the first 5 episodes, and like the Avengers take turns taking pot shots on him, doing nothing essentially. And he's like obsessed with Captain America for some reason. Man out of time. That's what yeah. And then Hulk is just like, so you think you can come into my house? You kick my baby. You slap my wife. You die.
You're dead.
Hulk beats the crap out of him because Hulk is Hulk.
Right.
But we can't have that.
No.
Because the writers don't understand multiverse and they don't understand Hulk, and it's not made by nerds.
Nope. If it was made by nerds, Hulk would still be the strongest person.
Yeah, Hulk would be able to destroy everything.
He might be smart, but he was
Like, imagine getting like Age of Ultron Hulk in the final Endgame scene. Like, I just imagine, like, I'm imagining just him, like, there's like 20 Tatari or like double 40, and he's just like running through them, and they're like flying in the air, like,
right?
Because he's just running through them, and
they can't stop
like,
him. He's the Hulk.
Ignoring them to attack something bigger that he finds more fun to kill. Like, that's what I'm imagining.
He'd be grabbing the giant floating ship things and ripping them in half.
Yeah. Kind of what we saw in the first Avengers when he just stopped one with one hand.
Right.
That's Hulk.
But imagine him with momentum going at it.
Right.
Flip that scene.
Hulk. Anyway, I think we're out of time for this episode. And that was the movie. What was your final review? Final out of 10?
It's not worse than Eternals.
Yeah, everyone that says it's worse than Eternals.
Stupid if they think it's worse than Eternals. I'm gonna say, is it the best Marvel movie we've ever gotten? No, fuck no. But it's decent. It does what it needs to do. Is it a little bit out of place in terms of the trilogy of Ant-Man? Yes. But honestly, it was a fun time, and I had fun with it, even though we were getting blasted on our asses a lot.
Oh my lord, I got violated by the seat legitimately. I sit on my hip a lot, and so at one point when that seat thing starts doing that, I didn't know it did the butt cheek thing.
Just got your butthole.
Yeah, no, straight up, just like bam, and I'm like, oh sweet Jesus.
And those chairs were uncomfortable too.
Right, yeah.
To sit in for 2 hours and 30 minutes? Nah.
It was kind of a lot.
I've heard the 40X thing is a little bit nicer.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I thought the movie was. For me, I thought it was better than Wakanda and Forever, and then I thought it was better. I think Multiverse is better than this movie, and then I think Spider-Man's still my number 1 movie for Phase 5, personally.
Yeah, out of this past time frame, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, Shang-Chi's up there too.
Shang-Chi was at least new, and it changed things. That it's like from a comic character that everybody was like, really? He exists? It's like it kind of exists out of racism,
but
like Asian exploitation.
And then they turn it into something better, which is nice.
Yeah, they made it actually good.
Mm-hmm. A celebration of the culture.
Exactly. Yeah, made him into a character that can maintain a story instead of being an auxiliary character, like
based
so
off
many
of Bruce
of these
Lee.
characters.
Yeah.
It's like recent comics. Cool thing he's done was help Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's that mean? What is that for?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
but I think we're out of time for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like. Go down in the comments, comment the secret word.
MODOK.
Go down and comment MODOK. If you do it with the dots, Wyatt will give you a gold star. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.